Hi there, my name's April Sawtelle and welcome to my channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to show you how to cut some fabric. I'm going to be getting ready to make some patchwork squares, so I'll show you how I do that. You're going to need a rotary cutter, you're going to need some rulers. It just depends what size you want. I'm going to do 6.5-inch squares, so I can use my 6.5-inch long ruler. I also have a 6.5-inch square ruler. I don't know if I'll use that or not, but I do have that just in case. What I'm going to do, this method is going to apply whether or not you're using off the bolt or if you're using yardage, fat quarters. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down. I've just got yardage here, and I'm going to lay my fabric out, lay it, and I'm going to just line up all I'm doing is lining up my fold. So you can see how off this is here. So that is okay because I'm going to just straighten it all up. I just need my fold lined up. So when you buy this fabric, it comes off the bolt and it's folded. So what happens is you've got these salvage edges. We're going to cut those off. That's tells us who the manufacturer is of the line of fabric. So those will be face up, and the reason you want them face up is because when you're cutting, you just don't have to finagle through loose ends like that. It's easier to go right through a fold. So you're just going to take your ruler, you're going to lay it down on your fabric, and you're going to line up your line on your fold. You're going to look to your right or to your left, depending on which hand you are, and you're just going to make sure you have all the layers. In this, I only have 2 layers because it's just folded in half. Sometimes you might have 4, maybe even 6 sometimes. It's kind of hard to cut through 6, but you may find that you can do that. So you're just going to line your ruler up, and we're going to cut this off, and all we're doing is straighten this up to get ready to make our strips so we can get them ready to turn them into blocks or patchwork squares. Okay, you're going to take your rotary cutter, you're going to put your hands firmly on your ruler, you're going to make sure your line is there, and you're going to cut that right up. And that's what I have for waist on this. Now, we're going to turn our fabric to this side because I'm right-handed, so I need to put my ruler to my left so I can cut with my right hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my ruler. Now, I'm going to show you 2 ways here. You can line it up with your mat if you want to. Make it nice, straight. You're going to follow your mat right down, and you're going to follow your line with your fold, and that will give you a nice straight cut if that's the way you'd like to do it. I'm going to do it by my ruler, so I know I have a nice straight edge here to my left, and I'm going to take my 6.5-inch ruler, and I'm just going to lay this right on top of my fabric. When you want this line here to your left, I want it just so I can see that fabric, like barely, but I don't want it overhanging because I don't want my square to come out too short. So when I line it up, I just barely need to see that. I'm going to line up the bottom edge so I know I'm nice. My angle is perfect, so I know this piece of fabric is going to be right smack on. So push down firmly with your ruler, with your hand. Push your ruler down firmly. Take your rotary cutter. Aim it towards you, towards the ruler. And you're just going to slice as you're holding firmly. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just move the piece that we just sliced. We're not going to move this. We know this is nice and straight. So what we're going to do, if you were cutting on your mat, you would just slice right from your mat and count over whatever size you need. Mine's going to be 6.5. I'm just going to keep doing the same thing that I was just doing. Barely on the fabric, just enough that I know it's there. My corner is nice and squared. Holding my mat down. When you take your rotary cutter, start a little behind your ruler. So you're kind of starting on the mat. That will give you that nice glide right over your fabric. So you're just going to go just like that, and you're going to slice it. Okay? And you're going to continue this for as many as you need, as many squares as you're going to need. I'm going to show you what to do to make the square. Now what we're going to do, now we have two pieces here. We could layer these together. Just remember, if you have a sharp rotary cutter, then you'll be fine. If you're not comfortable doing 4 layers, by all means, separate them and do 1. I always cut them in layers. It's so much faster. You can whip these up in no time. So now what I'm going to do, I know these are straight. I am putting my folds together over here, and I'm going to put my salvages over here. So whichever angle you want to go from, you can slice from that at the beginning. I'm going to take from my salvage edge. So I just want to get rid of these. The first thing I need to do is make a nice straight cut here. I need to get rid of all 4 of these bumpy salvage edges. You can see them right here. Some go in quite a ways. So you want to make sure you've got all of them. So here we're going to take a pretty good bite out of this. Just need to be sure, because nothing like getting through a project and then having a little piece of that salvage showing. All right, I'm going to line up my bottom nice and straight, squared off, follow it up, perfect, and I'm going to hold my ruler firmly and give it a nice slice. Now, I just want to show you, we want to make sure we have 4 layers here. And we do. And those are all going to be, that's what we cut off. So now we know there's no salvage in here. As long as you can see the fabric on these 4 layers, you're good. Okay, so now if you were going by your mat and you were going we'll just say 6.5 inches, you're just going to count over. You're nice and straight. If you're not, just straighten yourself out a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. Okay? And then you're going to make a slice there. I'm just going to use my 6.5 inch ruler. I always find it a lot easier for me to have a ruler this size. A lot of people say they don't have to have that. I just like to. It just makes it so much easier and less thinking for me. So with my 6.5 inch ruler, I know that I can just keep placing it and cutting, and I don't have to like be so precise. So I'm going to line up the bottom. And I mean, I wouldn't buy too many rulers, because really you just the basics. And they sell them, and they have all different price range, and there's rulers that are so much nicer than other rulers, but really for just a beginner, it's okay to just have the basics. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to line, well, it's actually okay for anybody to have the basics. You don't have to overdo it. Line up your ruler at the bottom, line at the side. Make sure you see that it's really just that smidge of fabric. Just enough that you know it's there, so you're not overhanging it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start slicing. Okay? Remember, only move the one to your right or to the left, the one that you cut off, move that one. Don't move the other ones, because this is all lined up. So it just makes it easy when you want to just keep, if you are using a ruler, you just keep on cutting. It just makes it easy because it's already lined up. And you can just whip right through these. Remember, start just below the ruler, so when you come into that fabric, you've already got that slice going. Push firmly. Okay. And line up. Make sure you see the fabric, just a little smidge. Make sure everything's nice and straight. And give it a nice full stack. And now we have 4, 8, 12 little blocks. These are going to get put into a patchwork quilt that I'm going to make. So this is one little stack. Here's our waist. This is what we have for waist. Now I will use these. This was on the fold. I will use these in scrap quilts. This I will use in my little bag for the dog beds or for the cat beds that I'll donate. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember to keep it simple. Bye.